All right, guys, welcome back. This is the last week of our course, week 8, and looks like we got kind of a small group here for this session. Hopefully, some others will join us. But as I mentioned in the notes for the class, and let me just share that with you in case you haven't been able to read it. This is on the course website. I guess I need to get my share going. Okay. More share. Screen. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hide that guy. So, what we're going to do this week is we're going to spend just these next 2 days, today and tomorrow, just having a kind of an open Q&A. If there's, as I mentioned, any bugs that you guys haven't been able to resolve, if there's other things about Unreal Engine that you'd like to talk about, we can certainly explore that. If you have questions about your presentation on Wednesday and Thursday, we could talk about that. So this is on the Slack channel, just a little blurb about what we're doing this week. So do be sure to check that out. And also, for just to again reiterate, on Wednesday, we're going to do kind of a practice run where we'll go through and present our projects. This can be either a real-time live demo of your game. You can also do a pre-recorded video if you'd like. I do that sometimes to make sure that the stuff doesn't crash. Or you could even, and I told some of our group in Los Angeles, if you just want to do a slideshow with even as simple as some bullet points about things that you learned in the class, what next steps you might take if you are wanting to look into more of the game design as a skill set. So it doesn't have to be it's not any specific template. Basically, just however you want to show off the work, the awesome work that you guys have done. So Wednesday we'll just practice that with our group, and then on Thursday we're going to have some folks I know from Mindera and maybe even Angel City Football Club who sponsored our group in Los Angeles. That is the ladies professional soccer team in Los Angeles. They may or may not also be attending. No pressure. But yeah, so let me just stop it right there and open it up to you guys. Any questions? Anything you'd like to talk about? Anything in your project that you'd
Well,
like to show?
one thing I'd like to do
Mm-hmm.
is whenever it gets to 10 seconds left in the game,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to play a different song.
Okay. So how might you do that?
I'm not sure. I don't know how to monitor what where the timer is at.
Okay. Well, let's yep, I can open that up, open my project up, and we could take a look at that. Let's see, soccer. So what you would do is you would do a check as this is opening up. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. You would do a check on the current time, and if the current time was less than or equal to 10 seconds, then you would stop the looping music and you would play the new one.
Okay.
So we'll go over that real quick. Mark, anything you wanted to go over today?
Um, if time permits, I have a couple things I wrote down.
Okay.
Um, One was, can I spawn in more defenders after I score a goal?
Mm-hmm.
How do I have some defenders go towards the ball instead of me?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do I make it so that some of the defenders could be like attackers and try to get the ball into my goal instead?
Okay. That yeah, those are obviously great ideas. I don't know that we could get to all that in one session because that is a lot more sophisticated AI. But I could kind of give you pointers to look at into how you might do it. So, okay, we'll take a look at that too. And then also at the end of the session, I wanted to show you guys a couple of other game design options that you can look at in addition to Unreal Engine, but we will do that in a bit. All right, so I believe in our level blueprint, well, let's see. Let me go here to audio and music. Do this real quick. Okay. All right. So that's the sound. I don't know if I shared my sound. Let me just. Okay. All right. So we would go in our level blueprint, right? That's the blueprint where that executes code just for that level. Okay. So for instance, if this music file that we have playing here, if we went to like a level 2, it would not play that unless we duplicated this code here. So that's a good thing to know. I guess I should hook that back up. All right, so this just plays right at the start. So I'm guessing it's in our goal blueprint, which we had a lot of code in there. Where's our countdown? Where's our countdown in our?
I think it's in the UI.
The UI one. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So we'll go over here to our graph and get this one, get that one. That is the get the score. This one is, okay. This is why it's always a great idea to name your stuff, which I did not do. So this is just get text. I want to rename that to get timer. Because you can imagine if I had like 30 of these guys in here and they were all get text 1, get text 2, that would I'd have to go click through all of them. Okay, so let's see. We get the timer. We're adding the whatever, well, time remaining, and then we're kind of putting that all together into a message, and then we're sending it here. Okay, so I would say from right here, we might do a branch, and we might say, let's go over here to, I want to put that over there. Okay, so we need to get the value of the current timer. So all we got to do here is drag that in, and we'll do a get. Okay, and then the condition is going to be, what do we say? Less than or equal to some number. And we could hard code it here as 10, but the better way to do this is to promote this to a variable, and we'll say music change time. So that way we can easily change that. And you'll notice that you can't specify a default value until you compile and save. So now we can say 10 seconds, okay? And out of the true, if that is true, we are going to play sound, I think. And then we'll pick our new music file. Okay. And if it's not true, so basically if it's 11 seconds or more, we'll just do nothing. So we'll just click that right there. So that is kind of how you would set that up. Now you would also need to go into the, we would also need to go over here and stop this. So you would need to get a reference to your level blueprint. and you would want to stop the other one. I assume you would want to stop it, and then you'd play the new sound right here. So that is a easy way of doing that. Sounds good? You gonna give it a try, Mike?
Yep, I am.
Okay, sweet. I'll go ahead and compile and save that. And save up everything. All right, and now Mark, you had said, how can we make these AI guys a little bit smarter? Okay, so let's take a look in here. I think it was BP AI Wanderer was our main dude. Okay, that was the patrol point, which was, that was really more to show you how to, some things you can do with AI. I don't know necessarily you'd want to do it in a soccer game. But obviously, if you're doing any kind of other, like an RPG or like an action kind of game, patrol points are very important. You could have a AI kind of, I'll just throw these in here real quick. We kind of did this with the nav meshes. You could set up some like areas. And I know we did set up like some like 2 or 3 really basic areas, but if you're think of football as well or college basketball with a zone defense, you could easily have your AIs just kind of roam about in specific zones using patrol points. But let's talk about some of the other ways to do this. Okay, so with our Wanderer, we'll just, if you remember, we'll just collapse all this into a node like we did last week. Okay, and I'll just call this patrol. That way we can see a little bit more. Okay. All right, so currently we say on C, pawn, and what we're doing is getting the player pawn, basically the player character. And once we see that player, we're going to move to their location. All right, so that's that. And then this is the random one where they just find a random location on our level. If I press P to show the nav mesh, okay. That one would be they'll just randomly run around here. Now let's think about a couple things that Mark, you brought up. So what if we wanted to have them chase the ball? Well, we would need to go to our ball, soccer ball, okay? And we would need to change the class settings of this. So right here, this is something that we haven't really looked at, class settings. But if you remember when we did different kind of blueprints, we did like actor blueprints, we did AI blueprints, we did widget UI blueprints. So in order for an AI to sense a pawn, this has to be a pawn. So right now it's just a basic actor, which is the general, what's the word I'm looking for? Catch-all category for a blueprint. So we would actually need to go and change this to a pawn. Which will probably cause some havoc in our system. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here, but I'm going to go ahead and save all that. And then now that this is a pawn, it can be sensed. So let's go back over to, we don't need that anymore. We don't need that. Okay. Pawn sensing. Okay. And Oh, we need to look over here, pawn sensing. Okay, so right here, see this one that says only sense players? We need to uncheck that, right? Because this is not the ball is not a player. It is well, it's a ball. Okay, and then from here, we need to see if we can. This is where, right here is where we need to hook up the soccer ball, but I'm not quite sure. Um, there's a get pawn, get owner pawn sensing. I'm thinking we might have to, if we drag out here, ball, cast a BP ball, and then from here maybe, see if that works. So we might have to go like this. So I'm not sure if this will work. I would have to kind of test it, but basically what you would want to do is get the soccer ball, make it a pawn parent class, and then you would want to then instead of telling it to move to the player character, you would tell it to move to the soccer ball. So I don't know if this is going to work, and plus we got a lot of soccer balls in our level. I'll go ahead and for now change our nav mesh. Just make it the whole field. NAV. I'll delete that one. Go over here and remember how we size things. If I can get it selected. Oh, this is the recast. My bad. Okay, here we go. Okay. Over a little bit and make it that way. All right, well, let's see what happens. Well, I think it's confused because there's so many balls in the level. But it did, yeah. I don't know what that is. Hold on. Okay. It did actually kind of move towards the ball. I wasn't seeing just seeing things, was I? Let's do another thing I like to do anytime we make major changes to an AI is to take the ones that are currently in that level out and just put them back in. And again, that might just be me thinking that I need to do that. I can't say for sure that you need to, but I'm just going to drag in a few more instances of these guys. And over here, over here, over here. A couple more. And maybe we'll change their speed too. Go back over here to character movements. Remember, it's walk speed, even though they could be running. We'll set that to the default. Let's compile and save. And yeah, let's take another look at it. Okay. So yeah, we would need to do a little bit of tweaking, but that's kind of the gist of what you would want to do. And then to kind of take it to the next level, you would want them to, after you do this, and I think, is it because we're, okay. After they do this, you would need to get their forward facing, and you would need to say, okay, if you have made contact with the ball, and here's your XY position, you need to, if like, for instance, if you were right here, then what you need to do is get the location of this goal down here, the XYZ of of the goal, and you would need to turn your facing to that location right there. And that would be on the Y, I think the Y location. Okay. So yeah, that would be a lot of work, but it would be really fun. And yeah, so there you have it. So you would do that, and the pawn would be again the soccer ball and not the player. Does that give you any insight?
It gives me something to start with.
Yep. Okay, cool. Um, all right. And let's see. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you guys was we talked about, I wanted to just briefly go over some of the other game design alternatives that you might be interested in now that you've, had let me close that, a nice preview to Unreal Engine is I'm doubting either one of you plays a lot of Fortnite, but I'm sure you know what Fortnite is. It is actually made by Epic Games, and it's a enormously popular game. And there's a lot of things that you can do in the game. It's not just, it used to be just Battle Royale, but now they have like crossovers with Star Wars, with Legos. Well, this Unreal editor for Fortnite lets you create Fortnite games, and it is just kind of like I don't want to say watered down, but it is a special, like modified version of Unreal Engine for use with creating Fortnite games. So now that you have a basic foundation in Unreal Engine, you would be able to hop over here and really be able to easily whip out some gameplay in Fortnite. And the really cool thing about the Unreal Editor for Fortnite is that it has pre-made devices that you can just drag in and they automatically work. So if you remember when we made, where's that little jump thingy? This thing, the launcher. You could just drag that in pre-made, because remember we had to build this. We had to say, okay, when you overlap, we're going to launch the character, launch strength. We have to put in a mesh, we put in effect. But in Unreal Editor for Fortnite, they have all that stuff is kind of pre-built, and you just drag it right into the map. So that's really cool. Unity is another one I'm sure you're familiar with. It is probably the closest thing to Unreal Engine, but it is very different in its own respect. It is based on C# code, and not like blueprints. So while Unity does have a visual editor, it's not quite as robust as this one. Most people do C# coding with Visual Studio to make the games in Unreal. And again, it's also free until you start making a lot of money. It is a lot of people that are more traditional coders like that better than the visual wires and nodes and diagrams of Unreal Engine. But yeah, definitely check that one out. Construct 3 is a Java, or not a JavaScript. It is, yeah, kind of. It's a JavaScript based web online, which you can use it right here. You don't even have to download it. It's free. And it uses an event sheet type of approach. Well, I just wanted to get here. How can I do a new one? File, project, new. Okay. So basically for this one, you just add a new object. I'm going to insert a sprite. And then it's got some drawing tools built in. And the fun thing about this, and also you can do this in Unity, is you can publish these games uh, as HTML games. So you don't have to build executable files or anything like that. And then what you do here is you hop over this event sheet and you basically add events. So we're going to say for this sprite, I want it to do something. Location, move, is it move? Anyway, you get the gist. So what you do is you just start to add events and actions, and then you can play the game right in your browser. Roblox Creator is another one that I know our Los Angeles folks were really big into Roblox. This one is a Python-based game development engine. Again, it's free, and it has it's also cool because you can build the games and test it online, right, without having to go through the build process. So that is another one that might be worth checking out. And then lastly, this is not so much a game design, but this is also from Epic Games. It's called Twinmotion, and this is for architects or product managers that want to demo a 4 or even 8K version of like a car or an apartment or a new building. It's if you love kind of playing games where like city builders or stuff where you just kind of building things and not necessarily playing them, but just want to have cool scenes that you can create. Twinmotion is definitely something to look into. And again, all of these things are free until unless you start making money with them. So really cool stuff here. And Twinmotion you can also find in the Epic Games launcher in the same section as Unreal Engine. All right. Well, we are at the little past. Any other questions? Anything you guys would like to focus on tomorrow?
I had a question about the nav mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like in a real soccer game, I think that the goalie can only come out so far, but I think the players can go into the same area where the goalie defends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering how you keep the goalie in there and you keep the other players so they can run where the goalie is, but he can't leave.
That is a good question. I don't know off the top of my head, and in fact, that was the reason why I don't know if you noticed, but when we did this the other way, I had that gap in between. We had the two nav meshes, and I had a small gap so that the goalie couldn't go to the other one. I don't know off the top of my head, but I will look that up right after class, and I will see what I can find out.
Alrighty.
Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, guys. Mike,
All right.
looks like it's a good time to cut your grass.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's cooled down. All right. All right, fellas. Well, thank you so much. And I will see you all tomorrow.
Alrighty. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.